What's up, Liron here, and today I want to show you this painting that I submitted to a watercolor painting competition. What's up, Liron here. Thank you for joining me in another video, and today I want to show you this painting that I submitted to a watercolor painting competition here in Israel. It's the IWS, the International Watercolor Society competition. And I submitted this one and two others, and I think this is the most impressive one that I submitted. Had a lot of fun making it. It's based on a photo, on a picture I took here in Tel Aviv. I went on a few days streak of taking lots of pictures in the city because I was collecting material to base some future paintings on. And then I came across this scene at a traffic light, and it was just a lot of people, all from different, apparently, backgrounds, from different countries, some tourists, some local. And so I really wanted to capture the scene, quickly took out my phone and snapped a picture, and then did this painting based on that scene. I just really enjoyed working on it. I worked slowly, took my time with it. It took about 2 weeks to finish. And I think there's a lot to be learned from this kind of a piece. Now, on the flip side, I want to show you, I just finished this smaller painting that's like a thumbnail exercise. Let me show it to you up close. It's like a thumbnail exercise, you know, that I recommend doing sometimes. And it's funny how, just as an added tip, because today's mostly about this painting, but I do want to give you an extra practical tip. If you practice both making these large, well put together paintings and also smaller thumbnail paintings, I think you get the best out of both worlds, in which you improve your composition and the basics when you work on small pieces, and then you improve your attention to details and your ability to expand the concept into a large painting, on the other hand, when you work on large pieces like this one. So I think there is a lot to learn from both types of works, and today I want to show you this type of work. So without further ado, let's change the angle and take a look at this. Okay, so here's the large piece, and you can get a better look at it. Now, the cool thing is, and I don't know if you know this, I made a small preparatory sketch for this one, which I find really funny. I just used it to set up the scene and figure out how I want everything laid out, the composition. Now, what's funny is, if you check the height of the people here and the way they interact with the car, they're a bit taller. In the original one, I made it probably by mistake. I made them too short, but that's fine. Just to get the gist of the values, we're gonna go back to this one. So if we want to analyze this painting based on a few, let's say, criteria, I think the first thing, the composition here is very interesting and it works well. We've got this main point of interest, which is the people, and I'm going to zoom in on those in just a moment. Then we have this car, which is kind of a secondary point of interest, but it's more in the foreground, it's closer to us. And as a final point, we have these cars moving into the background as well. So I think it's a bit of a unique composition. You have lots of interest in the sides and then one row or line in the center. And let me zoom in so you can see some more details. So now you can hopefully better see the people. And I'm going to move it a bit so you can tell. I'm going to move it around. So here, and every person really is unique. And this is what attracted me to this scene. This woman is holding a bag over her head, and these guys seemed like tourists visiting. These are people that live here. Another woman here. If you look at the car as well, plenty of details, enough to pull it to the foreground. You can see here the door handle. I did put quite a lot of care into that. The wheel could have been executed a little better. Wheels still really challenge me, car wheels. And here the final secondary or tertiary point of interest is this. Now let's talk a bit about color combination. I'm going to zoom back out. So when it comes to the colors, I used a trio of 3 colors mainly. And by the way, this is different from this one. I used a bit of any color I wanted to pick up. I just picked it up here. In this example here, it's a bit different. But in any case, I'm going to talk about that too in just a moment. By the way, compositionally, this one is identical, as you can see here. But in any case, with this one, the colors I used mainly are French ultramarine, which is very visible here. You can see the granulations. I used a warm red, so a cadmium red, I believe. You can see it on his shirt. Traffic light. Here in the background where it grays the blue out, there's a bit of indigo here too. And here in the car taillights. And I used a medium yellow, so I think it was Hansa yellow medium. nothing too warm or too, pretty neutral. And I did use a few, this is what I wanted to mention, a few other colors in some spots. So for this guy's pants, I used more of a Parylene red, a bit of a warmer red. Maybe it was also quinacridone, I don't really remember. It could have been either of those. For the trees, I used a combination of yellow ochre and phthalo blue, which I find work well with French ultramarine for some reason. I'm going to give you a better look at it. You can see here the yellow ochre stains. Hopefully you can see them well. And here it's really visible, the phthalo green, sorry. If I said phthalo blue earlier, I meant phthalo green. Works really well with yellow ochre to create muted greens. And somehow it ends up working well with the French ultramarine. So that's in terms of colors. I think the edges are interesting. It's mostly hard edges. There isn't too much flowiness except for this area, maybe this car. Mostly you can see a lot of hard edges in the foliage, a lot of hard edges on the people. Here, maybe a few softer areas with some clothing items. In terms of this area, this is what I find fascinating is I just let it do whatever it wants because it felt like if I'm gonna stress anything here, it's gonna pull a lot away from this area that I want the people to be focused on, the viewer to be focused on. So yeah, now let's observe this prep sketch. I think in comparison it could be interesting, and I'm gonna hold it up closer to the camera. You can see I use very strongly saturated paints. This is very small size, as you can tell, compared to this one. This is about between a quarter sheet and half a sheet. This is the small Canson Monval sketchbook that I keep showing you that I really enjoy using. I used also yellow ochre, some phthalo green for the trees here, French ultramarine mostly for the rest, maybe a bit of, I don't think there's indigo in here at all. But in any case, I think it's really fun and cool to see the prep and then the final piece. And with this one, because I wanted to submit it to the watercolor competition, and I really felt like I wanted it to basically be perfect, I decided I do want to work on it very well in a very organized manner. So I took my time with it, did the proper preparation, and I'm very pleased with the result. So I really hope you enjoyed seeing this. I hope maybe you learned something new. I always learn something new when I look at the process and the thought process of the artist. So when I see this small piece and then I see how it translated to the larger piece, and also hopefully I'm showing you the reference here somewhere, then you get to, I think, really get into the mind of the artist and figure out how they decided on what to do and so on, which is really important. This is why I enjoy sketchbooks, partial, unfinished paintings and sketches, because it gives you a window into the artist's eye, if you will. So in any case, this is it. I hope you enjoyed this one, and let's wrap it up. So this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one and hopefully learned something new. Again, this combination of doing both these highly detailed pieces that you take your time with, that may lack a bit of spontaneity, combined with making smaller pieces, maybe even outside, where you have to be quick and more intuitive, let's say. I think doing these two together can really help you improve. I think this is the way I improve, and I start to get a lot of messages on Instagram, especially. By the way, make sure you follow me there, because I also, for example, shared this one that I want to know if you want me to review as well. But in any case, I get a lot of messages on Instagram that ask me, like, people compare. They say, oh, you've been doing it for X amount of years, I've been doing it for Y amount of years, and I'm still not there, or stuff like that. And the way I improved really is by doing that contradiction, doing large pieces, doing small pieces, doing many subjects. You know, it seems like I'm only painting cars and landscapes, but that's not, or cityscapes, but that's not true. I do try off camera. I do a lot of paintings that are completely different. I used to do a warm-up every day for like a year. It takes a lot of work and effort, and I think the way I was able to improve relatively fast, I think, is by doing a lot of those things, and also because I got lucky because I have a background in drawing, and drawing is really important, okay? So with that being said, I really hope you enjoyed seeing this, and let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover, any other topic for a video that will interest you. By the way, again, this painting that I just finished yesterday, I believe, or 2 days ago. So if you want to see that, for example, I shared it on Instagram. You can see most of the process there. But if you want to, and I recorded the process too, so I'm going to share it on YouTube. But if you want me to review the final piece or something like this, let me know and I'll be happy to comply. I want to wish you an amazing rest of the day, night, evening, whatever it is there. I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And all the comments and likes, it really helps the videos get to more people, and it helps me help more people. So thank you so much. And with that being said, I will see you again in another vid real soon.